Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
But how soon is soon? What are you hearing?
Well, the reason it's an issue this year as opposed to other years is because this is the year that it's set up for him to do what he wants to do and to be able to lead. And we know now at the age of 42, he can go back to New England. He could retire. He could actually go play in another place. It could be any of the three situations. And the reason it's a question this year is because all three are legitimately in play. And I don't think he knows what he wants to do at this point in time. Now, one person this week said to me, with Robert Kraft being who he is, don't ever underestimate him when it gets to the moment of truth in the offseason. And the same person said Tom's relationship with Bill Belichick this year has been, quote unquote, terrific, which some people have questioned and wondered about in the past. And so they think in the end, when he's forced to look into the abyss and decide whether to take the jump, to retire or go somewhere else, that they don't know if those men will let him do it and he'll actually go ahead and do it. But again, I don't think we've ever been in a situation with the greatest quarterback of all time where there's a question as to what's going to happen.
Tom Brady will retire before he even go anywhere else because you can't do another system. Like, he's been in that system for 20 years. And, like, you can't imagine him go somewhere else and play and try to learn a whole new system. He'd retire before anything. Like, his wife highly want him to just retire, just be with his family. Like, he already did enough. He ought to go be a Hall of Famer when he's done. He got 6 rings. He's been in the league for 20 years. You know, he been in that system for 20 years. Like, he'd retire before he goes somewhere else. He say he gonna retire, but he probably gonna stay till he's 43, like he said, or 45, I think that's what he said. You know, he ain't gonna play in another system, because that's the only system he knows his whole career. And I think he'll retire a Patriot before he go to other places.
After this season, as there is now.
You know, just sitting down with him, I got the indication that he still wants to play football. He still loves the game. He still enjoys it. He's still playing at a high level. So for me to look at Tom Brady in another jersey, it would look weird. But, hey, we've seen the best of them from Favre to Manning, you know, move on. It just seems weird that a man that has done so much for one organization and what he stands on, just the principles for him and the organization, it's just hard to see him in another uniform. But just sitting down with him for the little short period of time last week before the Monday Night Football game, the indication I got was that he still wants to play football and he still loves to play at a high level.
Yeah, and a lot of things have changed in Tom's life in terms of over the 20 years, in terms of family, relationships, teammates. There's a lot of change, but I think he knows the one constant is that man who's at the head coaching position, and that's Bill Belichick. And if they have a great relationship now, that's a good thing. But I think in Tom's mind, he knows what Bill's job eventually has to do. He has to move on past Tom Brady. Tom knows that's coming. And to have control of where
It's just like, you know, meanwhile, they gonna want to move on from him. You know, they know he did so much for the organization, but they probably gonna want to go to another direction and go young. But he ain't gonna go no other place. I don't think so. But he know after a while they gonna want to go to a younger quarterback and start over, you know, a fresh start. And like, they understand, like, you have gave us Super Bowls, but if they don't move on like he, you know, he still want to play. He's like 42, I think, and he's still playing at a high level at his age. And he did so much for the organization in 20 years, and he know Belichick gonna want to move on soon from it. And he want to go prove to other people that he can play without Belichick.
he's going to be and how it's going to end for him, I think that's important for him too.
Yeah, see, you guys are talking all about football and stuff like that, and I get it, but you know, having played quarterback at 40 years old, I don't think it's about X's and O's. Like, I don't think there's ever going to come a time where Tom Brady feels like, I don't want to play or I'm not physically able to play. He's in better shape now than he used to be. And he's going to want to play. Like, we're football players, that's what we want to do. But there comes a time, like this isn't fantasy football. These are real people. These are real human beings with wives and kids and all this kind of stuff. And so, like, he mentioned he's got a 12-year-old. He has a teenager next year. Like, when you're 40-something years old and you have teenagers, like, you're never getting that back. Like, at some point, like, if you're saying yes to football, yes to another AFC East division title, yes to maybe another Super Bowl, you're saying no to something else. And so I've said this whole time, for years now, it's not going to be physical limitations. It's not going to be how much money can the Kraft family throw at me. It's going to be a family decision.
Well, that's why I asked the question, as you seen on the clip about, you know, has your wife, has the little ones told you to come home? Because as we get older, as far as a professional athlete, we've all missed out on a lot of our children's, you know, growth and a lot of the things that they grew up happy with. And Matt, you have a great point that he has 3 little ones that are growing up. One is getting ready to be a teenager in Jack. So there have to be a decision there. But like I said, the indication that I got from Tom, he still wants to play football.
And it's a great point by you, and I have seen the way that you smile when you have a daughter score in an AAU basketball game, and I bet you would put it right up there with catching a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings.
No doubt.
And I don't know that people think about that or talk about that. I know they don't talk about it in the media, but these are husbands, like these are dads.
Right.
And like the joy that you get from watching your kids, like you can't get that back. And at some point, the ages are gonna get to a point where you're gonna miss out. I've seen you're coaching your son in football. Yep. That's a real thing. And you put it right up there with playing for the Patriots.
But it's almost like, do the Patriots know something we don't? Because that's almost like desperation of them trying to improve for this year. The whole effort in getting Antonio Brown and then getting rid of Antonio Brown and still keeping him as long as they possibly could before they had to get rid of him. Now bring in Sanu, tight ends, fullbacks. We're trying to give you, it's almost, I read it as, we're trying to give you your best opportunity to win one in your last go-round. Is that the case?
That's how you read it, though. Because this is a team that always seems to be making moves to improve itself, to try to get to the next level. What is different about this year as opposed to other years?
They're always contemplating moves, right? They're always looking. I mean, it's always a guy that's coming in for a tryout, or it's a guy that's going to help you on the practice squad. But I mean, these are major moves here. The Antonio Brown thing, now that's a new thing. The other possibilities that they've gone through. Do they know something we don't?
The answer is usually yes.
Well, but I think they know.
That's pretty fair to say.
I think they know what we all know, which is why we're discussing it, right? He's selling his house. His trainer's selling his house. He voided his contract. So it raises the question, and it's just a question of what's going to happen to him after this year. And I know some people are uncomfortable talking about it, but again, when you've got a player of this magnitude, with this much uncertainty, it's something that everybody.
Well, I'll say this really quick. Getting seven would put Brady past Jordan. Okay? Does he think about that? You better believe he thinks about that type of stuff.
The other element to it is, you guys know this, the talk, there's no act.
If he get one more ring, I think he's done after this year. Because he already got 7. So he ain't going to worry about winning another one. Because he's going to be done after that, after he win another one. And he's going to retire and be a friendly
his
man.
career by any means, but the talk has always been, well, it's Brady and Belichick together. That's what's so special. I don't know if Brady would be able to play the way he's played if he was somewhere else, and you wonder if that question is something he'd like to answer. Let's just play in hypotheticals just for a second. Let's say, no matter what happens at the end of the season, he ends up going somewhere else. Where do you think he goes?
Somewhere in California, somewhere close to home.
San Francisco?
Somewhere close to home.
He goes somewhere that we would never, ever, ever suspect. I'll say that right now.
Canadian
The
League.
Dallas Cowboys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe.